seem to be telling me something. They've got a lot to say this morning. I hate to say it, but it might be time to start feeding some hay. So I think I will drop a bale out for them, but really in order to do this with the least amount of problems, I need to get them all out of the corral, shut the gates, and then I'll drop that bale in the front field where I can roll it out. But I just don't want all these cows trying to get up in my business while I'm trying to do that. So actually, first step is get these cows out of the front field into the corral. I can close that gate, and then it should be easy enough to walk the rest of them out into the middle field. Hi, buddy. Didn't realize he was right there behind me. Let's get these cows out of here. Other way, don't be like that. Of course, they just want to go where I don't want them to. Go on, get in. You too. You too, go on. Get up. Up we go, up we go, up we go, up we go. That's better. That's better. Let's close this gate. Feeding these cows wasn't actually part of the plan today, but when I got over here, they were all bawling, and you know, it's time. It's October 31st as I'm filming this. And I think this is the longest I've ever gone without having to feed hay. So in that aspect, we're doing pretty good still. But we can't go on like this forever. Sooner or later, we got to start doing it. And today's the day. After we get done with this, I'm going to load the tractor up on the trailer and run over to the hayfield, because the weather forecast has changed a little bit. And it looks like we're due to get some rain here the end of the week. Normally, working the hayfield, a little bit of moisture is your friend, but floating the ground really works better if the ground is dry, and that's the step that I'm on now. So I want to try to get over there and hopefully get that field floated before it rains. Even if I don't get it finished today, whatever I can get done will be helpful. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I think my Templar knife might be my exclusive hay twine knife, just because it's the only one that seems to stay sharp. To be fair, I pretty heavily abuse my Leatherman, so it's nice to have a blade that, you know, I can be nice to. That bale unrolled quite a long ways, and it's funny, some of them do that, some of them, you know, it only takes like 10 yards for them to unroll, and that all has to do with how thick the windrow was when you made the bale. If you're going a given speed with the tractor and there's a lot of hay on the ground, that bale wraps a lot faster and therefore unrolls a lot faster. If I baled this up where the hay was light, then that means the bale wraps slower, so it takes longer to unroll. I should note that the cows are not out of grass completely. There is still some feed out here, but they've got to hunt pretty hard to find it. This single round bale is not enough to meet the daily requirements of all these cows, but this round bale with whatever grass they can go around and find is. When I start feeding hay in the fall, you know, you ramp it up kind of gradually. As the grass slows down, the hay speeds up, so to speak. So what we'll do is we'll give the herd 1 bale a day until I wean the calves, and then the calves will go onto like an all-you-can-eat ration, and the cows will continue to get that 1 bale a day with the grass that they have access to. So we're actually, I guess, not feeding them more, but we're taking more mouths away from it so that there's more available for the cows that are here. Forgot to stop. Well, they seem pretty grateful. How much hay they leave on the ground tomorrow will determine whether or not I give them another bale. Won't need the spear for what we're doing today, so I'm gonna leave it here, because I might need it here tomorrow. Someone that's fed small square bales pretty much my whole life, save for the last 2 or 3 years. Every time I feed round bales, it's a constant evaluation of, is it better? Do I like it better? Is it more work? Is it less work? And I think what you just saw is the most labor intensive part of round bales, for me at least, and that is unrolling them by hand. And inevitably, when I post a video of me doing that, somebody's gonna say that I should build a bale unroller or something to that effect. And I'm not saying that I will never build one, because I do think that it would be nice, but in all reality, I only bale graze like that maybe like 2 weeks out of the year, maybe not even that much this year. So it's kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't really seem like it's a good use of my time to build something like that I use so infrequently, when really unrolling the bales is not that hard to do. When I'm a little bit older, I may not be thinking that, but for now, I don't think it's that bad. So put another way, I think yes, a bale unroller is probably in my future, but it's in my distant future, after I get some more pressing issues taken care of first. So I figured I will clear things up right now, because I know what I'm about to talk about has confused plenty of you guys in the past. This New Holland tractor is a T2420. This is my own personal tractor. The other blue New Holland that you guys see me run sometimes, like when I'm pulling the baler or pulling the disc, is a New Holland TN95. So there are two New Holland tractors in my life. This one is mine. The other TN95 that has the loader on it belongs to my dad. A lot of times when I post videos with my dad's tractor, people will say, oh, you finally got a loader for your New Holland. This is only a 60 horse. My dad's New Holland is 90 or 95. So they're two different tractors, and I know a lot of people think it's the same one. It gets confusing because they're the same color, they're kind of the same era, the headlights look the same, but they are different. Although this disc is only 10 feet wide, it requires quite a bit of horsepower. In fact, I think they say for a disc, figure about 10 horsepower per foot. So really this disc probably needs more like 100 horsepower, but that New Holland seems to be able to pull it okay. And this ground is pretty mild, which I'm sure helps as well. But I am now done with the disc and I have moved on to the float. And what the float is just, it's 3 angled pieces of channel iron that basically scrape and smooth out the ground, fill in all the furrows from the disc and any other sort of rough imperfections that are out here in the field. Because the float does not engage the ground like the disc or say the chisel, it just floats along on top, thus the name. It requires less horsepower to pull, so I can get by with my 60 horse, although this is probably about all that tractor wants, but it does do it. The reason that I made the hitch like this on the float is so if I get something balled up in the float, like a bunch of weeds or just a bunch of big clods that don't want to clear it, I can lift my 3-point arms up, and then the tractor has like an upward trajectory of the direction that it's pulling. And what that does is it sort of takes a lot of the weight off of the float and allows whatever might be balling up or causing a problem in there to pass through it. It took me a couple years to figure out to do that. I know when I first started running this thing, I would just hook it right to the drawbar, and if you got something balled up in the float or something stuck in there, you were just kind of out of luck until it cleared itself, which could take quite a while. Doing it this way with the 3-point arms has actually been a really big improvement. Well, it's a little hazy out here and a little bit dark, so it's probably tough for you to tell, but I am done. In the past, I would usually float this field twice before planting, but because we're kind of up against some weather, and because I was able to disc it down really good this year too, I think floating it one time is gonna be plenty. In fact, I don't even think that I really gained that much from trying to float it again. Certainly is not perfect, but it looks pretty good, and you gotta remember, I'm still gonna spread seed and fertilizer out here and then come over this with harrows and the ring roller again. So if there are some holes or some rough spots, hopefully that will kind of fill them in a little bit. So now this field is pretty much ready to plant when I'm ready to plant it. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.